Hello, today let's see about multiple sequence alignment with Clustral W tool. Multiple sequence alignment is about aligning three or more protein or nucleotide sequences. It reveals more biological information than pairwise alignment. For example, in pairwise alignment, when we are aligning two protein sequences, we come to know about the amino acid residues which are identical, also about the residues which are substituted, and about the gaps which are insertions or deletions. In MSA, along with these informations, we also get to know about other things like conserved sequence patterns and motifs in a protein sequence family, about conserved structurally and functionally important amino acid residues in proteins. Also, we can carry out evolutionary relatedness of proteins and genes. So, the approaches for MSA to C, we have dynamic programming and heuristic approaches. But dynamic programming, we need a multi-dimensional matrix. In pairwise alignment, we have a two-dimensional matrix. But when we come to MSA, we need to have a multi-dimensional matrix. So here, the amount of computing time and the computer memory, it increases exponentially as the number of sequences increases. Though it is an very optimal method, it cannot be applied for more than 10 sequences because of these issues. Hence, to carry out MSA with lengthy sequences or large number of sequences, usually heuristic approaches are preferred. Heuristic approaches, they engage pairwise dynamic programming algorithms. Heuristic approaches, they fall into three types. One is progressive alignment type, iterative alignment type, and block-based type. Clustral W is a progressive MSA program which follows a heuristic approach. There are many Clustral programs available on net, like the one offered by EMBL, EBI, etc. Here we will be concentrating on Clustral W program offered by GenomeNet. The web ID is given here. The general features of Clustral W program are they follow a stepwise alignment of sequence. That is what we say it as progressive alignment. And then next is global alignment of sequences. All the sequences will be aligned from the beginning to the end. The special features of Clustral W program are it applies different scoring matrices, it applies different weighing schemes, and there are varying gap opening penalty and gap extension penalty. We will be seeing all this in detail when we see step by step the Clustral W program. Now let's see about the progressive alignment procedure followed in Clustral W tool. Now consider a user submits 5 protein sequence to the tool. So initially, pairwise alignment of all the sequences with each other will be carried out using Needleman-Wunsch algorithm, which is a global alignment dynamic programming algorithm, and the similarity scores will be calculated. So from this similarity scores, distances will be calculated and a distance matrix will be created. So here this is a distance matrix. Now here, based on the distance, a guide tree will be created using neighbor joining method or Upugma method. Here both are distance based tree building methods. Coming to neighbor joining method, the sequences which have less distance between them will be neighbors in the tree. Now see the matrix over here. The sequence 3 and 4, they share the least distance. So here 3 and 4 will be neighbors in the tree sharing a common ancestral node. They form a clade. The next least distance is 11 shared between sequence 2 and 1. So now they will form a clade in the tree sharing the common ancestral node. Now the next thing is sequence 5. When you note the distance between the other sequences, we can notice that 3 and 4 have less distance when compared to 1 and 2 towards 5. So here 5 will be placed over here near to 3 and 4. So this is the guide tree built based on the distance matrix. In the guide tree, branch lengths are proportional to the estimated divergence along each branch. You can see here the branch lengths are different, which denotes their divergence. Now next what they do is, from the tree, weight for each sequences are assigned, and this weight depends upon the distance from the root of the tree. So here, and closely related sequence, if you see, they get a low weight, and the divergent sequences, they get high weights. Because in closely related sequence, what you see is the information will be duplicated. They will be more or less similar sequences. So those sequences will be given less weight and divergent sequences will be given high weights. Now next what they do is, proceeding from the tip of the tree towards the root, the sequences will be aligned pairwise progressively using global dynamic programming algorithm. So here the sequences will be aligned in pairs now, and then progressively they will be aligned together. Let's see this MSA in detail. So here you can see, here you have this 5 sequences based on pairwise alignment. Sequence 2 and 1 are neighbors, 3 and 4 are neighbors, right? Now sequence 2 and 1 will be aligned together and a consensus sequence will be created. Similarly, aligning third and fourth sequence, a consensus sequence will be created. Next, these two consensus sequence will be pairwise aligned and the consensus sequence of them will be created. Finally, the consensus sequence of the 4 sequences and then the 5th sequence will be aligned. Based on this alignment, the final MSA will be given with all the 5 sequences aligned. Now, here during each pairwise alignment, different weight matrix will be engaged to score the alignment. Now here we have different types of weight matrix like Blossom, PAM, Gonet, etc. If suppose we choose Blossom weight matrix as our option, what the tool will do is, it will use a series of Blossom weight matrix to score this pairwise alignment depending upon the similarity of the sequences. So during this MSA, score for each residue position is calculated based on the weight matrix, the sequence weights given to them, and different gap penalties used. Now let's see in detail about gap penalties. During this MSA, position and residue specific gap penalties are used. Varying gap open penalty and gap extension penalty are used here. Let's see about that here. So initially, default or user defined gap open and gap extension penalty will be used. Later, depending on the weight matrix chosen, the gap penalties will be differing. Also, gap penalty varies depending on different features. Like a low gap opening penalty is given for the gaps which are seen near short stretches of hydrophilic residues, which generally indicate loop or random coil regions. Likewise, reduced GOP is given for gaps found in early pairwise alignment, and increased GOP is given for new gaps introduced during MSA. High GOP is given for gaps created within 8 residues of existing gaps. This is done to avoid gaps which will be created very near to each other. Also, varying gap opening penalties are given depending on the amino acids near the gap regions. Like in many proteins, when it was analyzed, it was seen that gaps are frequently seen near glycine residues, whereas gaps are not frequent next to valine residues. So, during MSA, when gaps are created near glycine residues, they will be given a less gap penalty, and if it is created next to a valine residue, it will be given a higher penalty. So the progressive alignment method which the ClustalW tool follows is not suitable for comparing sequences of widely different lengths because it is a global alignment based method. Also, here improvements in assigning gap penalties prevent gaps in the conserved regions such as secondary structures, and it allows gap in regions like loop regions and random coil regions. Progressive alignments are known to be greedy in nature because here gaps introduced in the early steps of alignments are fixed. Any errors made in early alignment cannot be corrected at the later steps. But here the tools have introduced some iteration steps at different stages of alignment to overcome this greedy nature of the algorithm. So now let's get into the tool ClustalW program offered by GenomeNet. So here you can see there is a space given for the sequence to be submitted, and then there are many parameters given. First we have output format. There are many output formats, of which the default format Clustal is an easily understandable format. So we will keep this as default. Next thing is, as ClustalW initially does a pairwise alignment of sequences, there are two options given for pairwise alignment. One is fast and another one is slow. Now next thing is the sequences. If you are going to submit protein sequences, the default will be the protein itself, so you can leave it as such. If you are going to submit nucleotide sequences, then you need to select DNA. Now we'll see how to submit the sequences. Then we will go in detail about these parameters given over here. First thing is we'll retrieve the sequences from UniProt, the database for protein sequences. Now we'll take ACE protein. We have heard about this with regard to coronavirus, right? So here we have the SwissProt ID, entry name, and then the name of the enzyme, the gene name, the organism name, the scientific name is given as well as the common name is given, and the length of the sequence, right? Now when we see AC enzyme, we can see AC enzyme 2 is there, only ACE is there, all other proteins related to AC are also there. So now let's concentrate on any one protein. So we'll take ACE2 from different organisms. So now we can select over here human. Well, let's see the common names: human, mouse, rat, cat, orangutan, and civet. Civet is something like a big cat. And now, so we'll see how to retrieve the sequence. Open the form, and now here to the left side you can click on the sequence, click on FASTA format, right, copy and paste it in the Word file. Next thing, after noting the ID number, what you can do is before submission you can remove this ID number and let the protein name and the organism name be next to the FASTA format sign, so that while you get the results it will be easy for you to analyze them. Using the same procedure, I have retrieved the sequences of this ACE protein from different organisms and have removed the first ID number, so that the entry name along with the protein sequence and the organism name is there. For mouse and rat, the common name is given, whereas for other organisms, scientific name was given. So what I have done is I have changed to common name, those which I have marked in red, so that when we see to the results it will be easy. So we can copy all the sequences and then we can submit to the tool. Either we can do this way or we can directly choose the file from here. So before submitting it for MSA, we'll see in detail about this parameters given. We have two options for pairwise alignment. One is fast and approximate, which is the default option, and other is the slow and accurate method. So here the fast and approximate method follows Wilber and Lippmann algorithm, which is an heuristic approach. Slow and accurate method, it follows a dynamic programming algorithm. So this is chosen only when you have less number of sequences of short sequences. These are the parameters for fast and approximate pairwise alignment. Now the first thing is k-tuple or word size. K-tuple or word size represents exact matches between the two sequences to be aligned. Now for better representation, I have given this in a dot matrix. So here when the sequences are written one horizontally and one vertically, and then when there are exact matches between each other, means identical residues are there, a dot is placed over here. As few residues are shown over here, few dots are shown in this box now. The next step what they do is, these exact matches, the dots, will now be joined by a diagonal lines. So now based on the dots over here, we will be getting many diagonal lines. The next step is, these matches will be scored, and based on the score some diagonals will be retained. The diagonals which have high score will be retained and which have very less score will be deleted. Now here these diagonals represent the exact matches between the two sequences. Now neighbors of these diagonals will be analyzed, and then based on the size, the score, everything, they will be joined together as a full line over here. Now these two sequences which are on two sides of the matrix will now be aligned based on the diagonal line which is shown here. Space between the diagonals will now be aligned as mismatches, or gaps will be introduced between the two sequences, and the sequences will be aligned. Now let's see over here. So k-tuple You can mention the size of the K tuple. You can increase the size if the speed is needed, or if you are submitting longer sequences, the size can be increased. But the maximum size for proteins, it is only 2, and for DNA it is 4. Next, the number of top diagonals. So here the number of diagonals which has to be retained should be mentioned over here. Default is 5. We can decrease it if we want speed. So next thing is window size. Window size is the number of diagonals around each of the best diagonal that will be used. So the number of diagonals which will be mentioned over here. When the percent is chosen, its relative percent will be mentioned. It is better to understand as percentage. Hence, leave the scoring method as percent. Now next is parameters for slow and accurate pairwise alignments. Now here we have gap open penalty and gap extension penalty. And we have choice for the weight matrix. So weight matrix is for protein, the scoring table will give the similarity scores between the amino acids. In DNA, there will be scores for matches and mismatches. For protein, you have Blossom, PAM, GONET matrices. Whereas for DNA, you have IUB matrix and Clustral W matrix. Next, we have multiple alignment parameters. First thing is, there is a gap open penalty and gap extension penalty. By default, it is 10 and 0.05. Here, this is the initial gap penalty which will be used when the sequences are aligned progressively. Later, depending on the weight matrix chosen and depending on the position of the gaps, the gap opening and gap extension will be varying. So, gap penalty is generally to control the gaps during alignment, and there is no penalty for terminal gaps. As it is a global alignment type, there is no penalty for terminal gaps. Next thing is, if a DNA sequence is given, there is an option to choose yes or no for weight transition. Weight transition is when two DNA sequences are aligned, there can be mismatches due to transition or transversion. Transition is purine is substituted with purine and pyrimidine is substituted with pyrimidine bases, right? So now here, if S is chosen, the score will be ranging from 0 to 1. If it is closely related sequence, then the score should be near to 0. And if it is distantly related sequence, there can be many transitions occurring between them. Hence, the time the score can be nearing to 1. The next option is hydrophilic gaps. By default, it is yes. Generally, when you compare proteins, the proteins will be differing in their size in their loops and random coil regions. So, while aligning the sequences, gaps can be introduced in these regions. So, when this option is chosen as yes, the gap opening penalty and extension penalty in this hydrophilic region will be given less value, so as to allow gaps in those regions. And there is an option, the user can also alter the residues. Depending on your protein, the user can remove the residues or include some more residues. So the next option is about weight matrix. So here this weight matrix is for multiple alignment when sequences are aligned progressively. So we have Blossom, PAM and GONET for proteins. So here when a Blossom option is chosen, a series of matrix will be used depending on the similarity of the sequence aligned at each step. And for DNA, we have IUB and Clustral W matrix, and it is a single matrix. Now, submitting the ACE protein from 7 different organisms and keeping the default parameters, the program is now executed. This is the result page displayed. The first section shows the length of the protein, the number of amino acids present. The next section shows the pairwise alignment of the sequences. You can see here all are pairwise aligned, and then the scores are given in percentage. The next is, after this pairwise alignment is done, a guide tree will be built. So this guide tree is shown at the bottom of the page. So without branches, it is shown as a simple structure over here. So based on the guide tree, the sequences are progressively aligned. So finally, the aligned sequences are displayed here as multiply aligned sequences along with some symbols which shows the similarity of the residues. So now let's see this in detail. The first section, you can see the sequences are numbered, and then the sequences are all of same length except the last one, which is one amino acid less than the others. The pairwise alignment is given indicating their numbers here. So now if you see, based on this pairwise alignment, the guide tree is built. So now along with the guide tree, we will just see how it is done. So here of all these scores, we see the score between 1 and 6 is 98. So 1 and 6 is human and orangutan. So here you see in the guide tree, they are falling in a same clade. They are neighbors to each other. The next thing is sequence 4 and 5 have the next highest score. So 4 and 5 are cat and civet. So here same way cat and civet are falling in a same clade. The next highest score is 90 here of two sequences 2 and 3. 2 and 3 here is mouse and rat. So mouse and rat form the third clade and they are neighbors here. So cow is distant from all others. So it is coming over here. So as this guide tree is built, the sequences are now progressively aligned. We can see group 1, first two sequences are aligned. So here the first two sequences will be aligned. And then next is group 2, again two sequences are aligned. So cat and civet are again they are aligned. The next is group 3 is 4 sequences are grouped together. So now this human, orangutan, cat and civet, they all four will be aligned together and the consensus sequence will be got. So next thing is fourth group is 2 sequences which indicate alignment of mouse and rat. The next alignment is 6 sequences. So this 4 plus this 2, now they are aligned together, 6 sequences. So group 6 is the final alignment where all the 6 and the last one cow is aligned together. So 7 sequences are aligned and the scores are, we can see the scores over here. So now based on this progressive alignment, you can see the same way human, orangutan, cat, civet, mouse, rat and finally the cow. You can also note that this is not the order what we have submitted here. Okay, human we get mouse, rat, okay. So this order is not being shown over here. It is the order which is seen in the guide tree. Coming to this section where sequences are multiply aligned, we can see the sequences are aligned from the beginning to the end. As the sequences are of same length, there are no terminal gaps. Only cow was one amino acid less than others and we can see a gap over here. Next thing is there are many symbols indicating the relatedness of the sequence. First thing is star indicates that the residues in this column are identical residues. The double dot indicates the residues which are highly similar in nature. Single dot indicates amino acids which are less similar to each other. And next the space indicates amino acids which are not similar to each other. So to see this in detail, I'll just take the final portion of this. So the final portion is taken over here. As we know, the star indicates identical matches are the perfect matches. Let's see about the double dot and single dot. These are the set of residues which are highly similar to each other. So when these set of residues, when they occur in a column, then that column is indicated with double dot. Next thing is, these are again a set of residues which have weak similarity between them. When these residues are seen in a column in the alignment, then they are indicated by a single dot. Let's see for example now, in this column we see I, V and M. So here this I, V and M they are seen here. So they are indicated as a double dot. Highly similar amino acids. Next thing is, in this column where it is marked by a single dot, there are G, N and S. G, N and S. You can see it over here. So we know this set, they have weak similarity between them. So it is indicated by a single dot. Now here if you see, you have A, D and G. You can see here nowhere this A, D and G are seen in a same set. So they are indicated by a space. Means they are non-similar amino acids. They do not have any similarity between them. Now, to know about this similarity between the amino acids, this is a simple representation here. Now, amino acids are grouped based on their aliphatic side chain or aromatic side chain, and also based on their size. Next thing is based on whether they are acidic or basic. You can see here as basic and acidic amino acids. They are charged amino acids. Rest all are neutral amino acids. Next thing is hydrophobic. These are all non-polar amino acids. And you have hydrophilic amino acids. All these will be hydrophilic, of which this charged will be more hydrophilic in nature. Now, amino acids which have many of these characteristics in common will be highly similar amino acids. Amino acids which have a few of these characteristics in common will be having weak similarity. And amino acids which do not have any of this in common, or if their characteristics are completely different, they are non-similar amino acids. For example, now we saw here A, D and G. You can see here A and G are hydrophobic amino acids, whereas D is hydrophilic in nature and it is charged amino acid, while these are neutral amino acids. Hence there is no similarity between them. Hence they are marked as non-similar amino acids. When you see here VIM, so here when you see V, I and M, all these three are hydrophobic amino acids, neutral amino acids, and they are aliphatic amino acids. So they are marked with double dot, highly similar amino acids. Next thing is G, N and S. G, N and S. So here if you see, though G is hydrophobic in nature and these two are hydrophilic in nature, all these three are neutral amino acids and they are aliphatic amino acids. These are the properties which are common in them. So they are marked as single dot. So now let's again come to the results. Now we know about these symbols. When you see in the results, when the sequences are multiply and aligned, the regions where there is a stretch of stars along with the double dots, like you can see over here, this region is highly conserved when compared to other regions. Also we can see here stretch of stars over here. So these regions are said to be highly conserved in the proteins. Might be these are functional motif regions, and a very large stretch can be a domain region. These residues might be important for the structure and function of the protein. So this is how you need to analyze the results of Clostral W. So this is what is about Clostral W tool. We have seen the principle of the tool, the parameters involved, and about the result annotation. If you like this one, kindly subscribe to my channel. Thank you.